Hello everyone, welcome on in to another video. Today I'm giving my second takes on the Feral Druid talent tree in Dragonflight Alpha. I have just been given Dragonflight Alpha on Wednesday. Today is Thursday, so I've only just been able to jump in and test some stuff out. Unfortunately, right now I cannot test any of the zones, any questing, anything like that. But more importantly, we are able to test a couple of the dungeons, Alderman and Neltharos. So I will do separate videos on my opinions, my feelings on those two dungeons, and maybe discuss some of the mechanics and whatnot in those dungeons as I start to learn them a bit better. But for now, I just want to focus on my thoughts and feelings on Feral. In general, the way I'm going to be giving my feedback is by YouTube videos, Twitch streaming, and that's it. There's a bunch of people that are going to be posting in the Discord. I don't need to do that. I'm only going to be adding to the voices. It's already fine. I'm not going to be posting on forums or Reddit or Twitter or anything like that because there's so many people that can do those things. But I'm going to try and spread my thoughts via YouTube because, try and reach a wider audience with that. Try and hit an area that might not be covered as well. So without further ado, let's jump into it. If you do want to see me doing testing, I'm going to be playing a bunch of, this is maybe just a general kind of bit of information for you. I am considering a reroll. Considering one. And I'll probably do a separate video as to my reasons for that. I'll probably put that out tomorrow, actually, so people can kind of understand why I'm thinking it. So I'll do that for you, but I'm considering that. So I'm probably going to be playing a lot of different melees in general. I definitely want to check out Enhance and stuff like that as well. So I'm going to be playing a lot of different melees on the alpha, checking things out. Probably playing a bit of Boomkin as well, just because I like Druid in general. It's been my main forever now. So if you want to come check that out, come check me out on twitch.tv/Psybear_TV. Link to the description below. And I'll be playing 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, streaming from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every day at least. So yeah, without further ado, let's kind of jump into this video, get straight into it, and for the meantime, I'll let you guys listen to the lovely sounds of some Evoker splashing. So, when initially these trees did come out, first I was like, there are some issues with these trees, but they're not too bad, there's some good stuff, I'm sure they'll be fine. There was some speculation on whether Brutal Slash was going to be replacing Swipe or not. It didn't say it replaced it in the tooltip, so I did a little piece of me had a little bit of hope that Brutal Slash was not going to replace Swipe. There were going to be some interesting potential interactions with Blood Talons plus Brutal Slash plus Swipe plus Scent of Blood plus Thrash, and there was going to be these cool potential rotations going on there in AoE, which would have felt pretty good and would have probably been pretty fearsome. For some good, solid, consistent damage. Unfortunately, Brutal Slash does replace Swipe. And this is probably the biggest crux for me with this tree. But I want to caveat this and say, even if this does get changed, there are still a lot more issues that need to be resolved as well. But Brutal Slash needs to either not replace Swipe. That, for me, is the best possible change. But because that would cause... from my understanding, that would cause a mechanical change. They'd probably have to recode how this spell works. What is easier is for them to just move its location on the tree. So, well, I would imagine so, right? They'll probably go for the course of least resistance. So they will probably just move Brutal Slash here instead or something, right? And then Primal Wrath here instead of Lunar Inspiration. They'll do something like that. But this is really, really bad because basically you cannot take Brutal Slash in Mythic Plus. You just can't do it. And even if you did, you're in a situation where you're like, oh, okay, cool, I got Frenzy Band, I'm ready to rock, pop my cooldowns, my big 3-minute cooldown, let's go. And then you do 3 GCDs, and then you AFK. It's a 7-second recharge right now. So then you just AFK for 7 seconds, give or take. It's not going to be fun, not going to be interesting, and you're going to be doing a single target rotation on 20 mobs, 10 mobs, 5 mobs, doesn't matter. You're going to be doing a single target rotation. So I need to stress just how bad this is, that it is here, and that it replaces Swipe. Because what this also means, you have to take Swipe, right? If you don't take Swipe, and you try and use Brutal Slash, it doesn't actually work. For some reason, it won't let me edit my... Oh, yeah, okay, you can't. There we go. if you try and do this, and then you try and take Brutal Slash, it doesn't work. Drag it to my bars. It doesn't work. So you have to take Swipe, which means Brutal Slash is a two talent point ability, and in Mythic Plus it really causes some damage there. So there definitely needs to be some changes to Brutal Slash, but we can move on from there. The next big thing are, well, there are a lot of like minor things now that I would like to change. So you have to take Berserk here in order to get MOC, but generally speaking in Mythic Plus, you do not care about this ability. It doesn't do anything. It's a 3-minute cooldown that you get 2 combo points back. But it causes some very weird interactions when you take Eye of Fearful Symmetry, which is something that you would definitely take in Mythic Plus because you don't take Brutal Slash, right? So because you don't take Brutal Slash, you're definitely going to take Eye of Fearful Symmetry. Even if you did take Brutal Slash, you probably still would take this. So you're in a situation where you use a finisher, you're now at 4 combo points during your Berserk window, which means you use a Shred, you gain, what, 2 to 3 combo points, you're potentially overcapping by 2 combo points. You understand? It's very bad. But you have to take it to get MOC, and you definitely want MOC. Then, the rest of Berserk, you have Jungle Stalker here, separate from Relentlessness. You then have Frenzy Band over here, and then you have Incon here. So you have to put 4 talent points, and they're all on opposite sides of the tree in order to get them, and all very deep into the tree as well. Well, you know, these 3 are. In order to get 1 decent powered 3-minute cooldown. I mean, it wouldn't even be a very strong cooldown. It would be an okay cooldown if you had all 4 of these. Berserk is really not a very strong cooldown. You split it into 4 talent points. It's not great. So you don't really care about taking this. You can't take this. You don't care about Incon because it doesn't do anything. Energy is no longer a problem because you have Savage Roar, you have Soul of the Forest, you have Scent of Blood, you have Predator, you have Omen of Clarity, you have MOC, right? Like, you have all these things for your energy regen. You have Convoke, which helps. You have combo point generation with Eye of Fearful Symmetry. So you have a bunch of energy resolving things. So you don't really care about Incon and energy cost reduction. So you don't really care about it. Jungle Stalker, you don't really care about in Mythic Plus. In single target, it's okay, but so Jungle Stalker makes it so that your Rake and Shred are as if they're from stealth for 20 seconds, but you have a 3 talent point ability here, Sudden Ambush, that does the exact same thing. So you spend 4 talent points for this. A very heavy investment, not very impactful. I would much rather see Sickle of the Lion here. Or like I've said in previous videos, you put Sickle of the Lion here, so like put it here. I don't know where you'd move these to. You put Sickle of the Lion here. Well, actually, there's a few things that you could do, right? Like you could move Blood Talons here, Feral Frenzy there, for example, just off the cuff, right? And then you replace Infected Wounds, just make that default, make Predatory Swiftness default, and then you like move, I don't know, one of them down here somewhere, and you move like Savage Roar here, you put Brutal Slash there, you make Infected Wounds baseline, you put Feral Frenzy there, like you can make these slight tweaks and adjustments. But Infected Wounds and Predatory Swiftness need to be baseline. I'll get onto that in a second, though. But you can make Sickle of the Lion here. You can put Blood Mist here. Blood Mist, Sickle of the Lion would have a really cool interaction. I think that would be a really positive change to this talent tree if you had both of those. Because it's also more bleed-based as well, which is cool and would feel quite impactful in keys. And you can mess with the tuning on proc rate of Blood Mist or something like that. That's fine. Or it could even just be like a mini Sickle of the Lion proc. It's like a half duration. So it's like nice, but it's not incredibly powerful, you know? It's just like a nice, like, bam, okay, nice. We got an extra bit of damage for this pack. Yeah, next thing, so Infected Wounds. I mean, it got laughed at when I went on the Max. Like when I went on Max's stream, Max just laughed about this ability. He was just like, "This is so pointless." So I won't even say anything else about that. I'll just let Max's reaction be like a good reaction for this. This should just be baseline. It only is applied on Rake, not even Thrash, and it's only a 20% movement speed slow, so it's kind of doesn't really do anything. You then have Predatory Swiftness, which is a talent, and it's quite far down, and it doesn't really offer you, like, it's a nice additional healing bonus. It can have some nice mechanical play with, like, entangle rooting a mob in Mythic Plus, and, like, keeping something out of a group at quite easy. It's, like, quick to refresh. You don't have to hardcast. The problem about making it a talent, and I was definitely playing with this, I was playing without Predatory Swiftness in Dungeons yesterday, and whenever I was playing without it, it was like I was having to rewrite like 6 years of Feral Druid in my brain, because that's how long I've been playing it for, since like Legion. So I think it's been like 6 years. I like had to mentally rewrite that, and I think it's such an ingrained inbuilt habit of Feral Druids. Like, does anybody else as well still have the ingrained mechanism of old Blood Talons, where when you cast a Regrowth you get 2 procs of Blood Talons? I will be sitting in a main city, I will be on my mount, and I will just hard cast a Regrowth, and then I will remount. For absolutely no reason. Because in my head, it's like just a thing of just regrowth, gives you Blood Talons, regrowth. And Predatory Swiftness is a very similar thing of regrowth, like use a finisher of regrowth if you're low on energy, or if you're low health or whatever. Like use a finisher, regrowth. And it's so ingrained that I think it would be very unfair to like cause ferals to have to retrain themselves and move away from this. But these are like my biggest issues with the tree. Brutal Slash is a massive one. Infected Wounds and Predatory Swiftness are big ones. Jungle, like this build of Berserk being really bad. Adaptive Swarm being 3 points as well, I think is really bad. So points that are higher up in the tree are way less valuable. Like, you don't, like, because you have to make 8 points to move beyond this point anyway. So you have some flexibility, like, what do I really want? Then you get to here, and it's like 20 points, right? So again, you kind of, like, points in this area is like, you have to get up to a certain quota anyway. But once you hit this area of the tree, like, you're running on fumes. You barely have any points left. Every single point you spend needs to be very impactful. And you have to spend 3 points to make Adaptive Swarm playable. So it's a very heavy investment for what you're actually getting, and I think that this could just be condensed, even just a 1 talent point. You get Adaptive Swarm and it has a 60% chance to split. Like, even if that's just 1 talent point, I think that's fine. But worst case, make it 2 talent points. Like, worst case, make it 2 talent points. 3, I think a bit too expensive. Because there are only, like, excluding these, because you're not really going to play these, you're only going to play them as, like, to bolster up, like, get you past the 8 or 20 point threshold or something. You're not really going to play these two. So the way I see it, you only really have, like, 3, or you have 3 combo point talents. But when you factor in the fact that you have Sudden Ambush plus Jungle Stalker, it's, like, 4 talent points to make 1 ability. And then you have 3 talent points to make 1 ability. Like, this is 3 talent points to make this usable. So you actually have, like, a couple more than you think. With the way... Oh, and then you have to put 4 talent points into Berserk in order to make it good. Or, like, reasonably good. So there's, like, a 4 talent point. So, like, the Feral actually has some 4 talent point positions with this tree. Another issue with this tree, and then I'll wrap it up here, but my last thing with this tree, my last big issue is that we're playing Shadowlands Feral for another 2 years with no real changes for it. So that's kind of my big concern. There are some very minor things like that you go, oh, but you're getting like Circle of Life and Death plus like Apex, whatever, maybe. There are a couple changes. You get some additional like legendaries kind of all together. The thing is, you have 0 gameplay, 0 mechanical changes in how you play. Nothing actually changes. Just everything you're already doing just happens quicker, and that's it. So this tree definitely needs to be addressed. If it doesn't get addressed, I'm probably going to be re-rolling away from the spec. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, these are my thoughts. I know it's very doom and gloomy. I know it's very pessimistic, but I feel like if I don't make a video like this and I don't give my true, like, my just true thoughts, then Blizzard might watch my video and go, oh, Side thought it was fantastic, Side thinks it's great, okay, cool, maybe this, and then they might see some other feedback and go, yeah, actually everything's fine. So I wanted to just be, like, very reasonable in, and I don't think I've been, like, flamey or toxic or anything like that. I think I've just made good criticisms of a tree. That's what I think I've done here, and hopefully you agree and think I've done the same. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in the next one.